Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm talking about my Saturn return experience so far. But before I start, if you guys haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you guys are interested in booking a reading with me, you can find all my services on Etsy.com. My Etsy shop name is Cosmic Star Astrology. Also, please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Cosmic Star Astrology, where you can find astrology, tarot, and much more. You can also DM me for readings as well. And let's get into this video. The Saturn return. So this is a big one for a lot of people in the spiritual community. The Saturn return is like this long-awaited fated event that everybody experiences around the age of 28, 29, 30. It depends on when it starts for you, but right now I am in my Saturn return. And I wanted to talk about how I'm feeling and kind of what I'm experiencing. I also wanted to give a little bit of tips and guidance for those of you who are going to be approaching your Saturn return soon. The Saturn return in astrology is a time of where you're doing like this check-in point of the last 30 years of your life, basically. And like I said, it depends on when Saturn starts for you. It could be at age 28, it could be at age 29, it depends. You're covering the last 30 years of your life. You're really doing a lot of processing, a lot of reflecting, a lot of deprogramming of your early life. So that's your teenage life, your early 20s, your childhood. You're deprogramming everything that you've learned, and you're essentially starting a new cycle. You're reflecting back on your life to see what you've accomplished, what you've done, what you did, what you failed to do. You know, Saturn has a way of letting it be known like where you need to mature and where you need to step up to the plate. Let's talk about how I've been feeling in my mental health. Y'all, it's been so hard. So hard. This Saturn return has been kicking my ass, like literally. Like it's been like really hard on me emotionally, especially these last couple months, like October, November. I know we're still in November, but pretty much November is pretty much over. But yeah, between October and November, it's been like, especially October, it was like really bad, where I was just crying a lot. Like it's just a lot of crying, a lot of just deep reflection on myself and just my earlier years in my life, and really just doing a lot of self-reflection. You know, Saturn is a planet that brings depression, and it's a very critical planet. So it's an energy that forces you to go within and do that shadow work and do that deep reflection on yourself. It's a time where you're really picking at yourself and you're really doing away of what's not needed within yourself anymore. So it could feel like a very heavy and pressuring time. That's how it's been feeling for me. It's been feeling very heavy, a lot of pressure. I've been crying on and off. Like honestly, it's just been a wild ride, like quite literally. Saturn has this weird way of making you feel like one minute you're like depressed and you're crying, and then the next minute like you're ready to go, you're ready to like get productive and make shit happen. This is a lot of the emotional ups and downs that I've been experiencing. Is one minute I'm like beating myself up and, you know, feeling like a failure, or like feeling like, oh my god, I didn't do enough, or oh my god, I wish I did this or took this opportunity, whatever the case may be. You know, kind of just reflecting on my past, on things that I wish I'd gotten a chance to do, or opportunities that I should have taken advantage of, or things of that nature. And then the next minute it's like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to, you know, get up and try again and make shit work out, you know, make shit work for me. While Saturn is a planet of depression and, you know, it brings like that, it puts you in kind of like that hermit mode kind of energy. Saturn is a planet of work. It has to do with productivity. It has to do with building. So during this time, I've been taking a lot of time to really reflect on what it is that I really want, and what it is that I really want to do, what it is that matters to me. Reevaluating and planning out, how do I want to go about this going forward? Another thing with the Saturn return is that there's a tendency to feel very lost, especially because right now Saturn is in Pisces at the moment. So Pisces is an energy where you could feel very lost at sea. There's no bounds, like there's no shore, there's no nothing. Like it's just like you're just out here just floating, and that's how I've been feeling. Like, honestly, I just been feeling like I'm just floating, and like I'm like feeling, I go through moments where I feel like very confused, or I feel like what's happening? Like, what the hell is happening? And that's a result of the deprogramming and the shedding of your old identity. What is your old identity? Everything that you've built up from your teenage years, everything that you've built up from your early 20s, like your mid 20s, everything that you've built up from childhood, like when you were growing up with your parents and your family, all these things you're doing away with. Why? Because once you enter into that new cycle, when you become 30, you're essentially opening up that chapter of becoming a full-on adult, where you're responsible for yourself, you're responsible for structuring your life and really making your life what you want it to be. You're teaching yourself, you're parenting yourself. When you're in that age between like 27, 29, it feels like you're in the womb, and you're kind of getting ready to go into this new life. You're getting ready to be reborn, essentially, once your Saturn return is over. So right now, I kind of feel like I'm kind of like sitting in the womb a little bit. A lot of the things that I believed and valued in my earlier years, I could see these things changing within me, especially the closer I get to 30. Literally, I'm at like the critical age, which is 29. In astrology, the number 29 is like that critical number. I'm really forming this new identity. This kind of goes back into like the mental health thing, and the emotions and things. It could feel very scary. The earlier parts of your life, you've built a whole identity off of that, and it's an identity that has been with you for the last 30 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to face the fact that you have to let that identity go, and it could feel very scary. It could feel like, oh my God, I'm losing parts of myself that I was really attached to, or I really believed was me, or I believe like it was something that I needed, or that I felt like worked for me, and it's no longer working. And like I was saying earlier with the Saturn return, it's that time to do that shadow work. And this is where the themes of Saturn and fears come up, to where you have to face your fears about your internal world. Things that you weren't acknowledging before, now you have to acknowledge it. Why? Because Saturn is going to make you very clear on who you are. And I know that sounds very like contradictory, because I was saying like in your Saturn return you could feel very lost. You very much so can. Multiple things could be true at once. So while you can feel very lost during your Saturn return, Saturn does do a good job with making things very clear, very crystal clear. Okay, Saturn makes you focus, very hyper focused. So Saturn will direct you to focus in and hone in on things that you were ignoring for a very, very long time. Why? Because of like societal pressure, or pressure from family or friends and things of that nature. All of these things are being blocked out, and it's having you focus on you. This is why during your Saturn return you could find that you lose a lot of people. You lose like a lot of friends, or you may distance yourself from like your family. And this is because Saturn is putting you in isolation, so you can focus in on your internal world. So Spirit is having you sit with yourself to really figure out, what do you want your life to look like going forward, going into your 30s? And this is why, again, you lose a lot of people in your life. You lose jobs. You just lose a lot of things that once mattered to you, or once were in alignment with you based off of certain things that you were valuing in the early parts of your life. You could find that you lose these things. Why? Because your value system is being restructured. You're being realigned to this new cycle in your life. So you're definitely going through an end of an era and welcoming a new era kind of energy with this Saturn return, and that has definitely been something that has been happening for me. Things that I no longer care about or resonate with, I'm ready to let go of those things. Certain people that I'm not close to anymore, I find myself distancing myself from them. You want to take a certain career path, or you want to start a family, or whatever the case may be. Your Saturn return will put a lot of pressure on you to really get clear on that, and so clear that you can't even deny, to where you have no choice but to go do that. So let's talk about kind of like the good and the bad of like the Saturn return. A lot of people like to talk about the bad stuff, but there are a couple like good things with this. Let's start with the bad. Like, let's get that out the way. With your Saturn return, of course, like I was saying, you go through a lot of losses, both spiritually and quite literally. You're losing parts of your identity, or your value system is changing, and it could feel very unstable. Saturn has a good way of destabilizing you so you can rebuild again. While it may not feel good to lose and take those L's, there are things that you have to sacrifice, whether you willingly do it or it gets removed from your life. Why? Because it's making space for the new. So it's clearing your energy so you can welcome in this new period of your life. Well, I personally don't feel like this is a bad thing. I always embrace change because I am a Plutonian person, so I've gotten used to change, but some people may see it as a bad thing. Saturn is a planet of like responsibility and taking accountability. So while yes, there are certain things that will be just naturally taken away from you, Saturn is going to put that pressure on you to do these things yourself. So these are going to be hard things to confront when you have to cut away certain things, whether it's certain habits or behaviors that you have that aren't conducive to your growth, or certain relationships, certain jobs, whatever the case may be, that aren't conducive to this new chapter that's opening up for you. You have to take accountability and you have to take a stand and remove these things yourself. And that's very hard for a lot of people to do. They don't want to take that accountability. They don't want to take that responsibility to remove certain negative things out of their life. It is essential for you to do it because you can't take these unnecessary things with you into your new chapter. Saturn is now in Pisces, so Pisces is a sign that has to do with your faith. It has to do with your connection to God, source, spirit, angels, the divine, the unknown, surrendering, trusting the process. This is something that has been very hard for me, having a Saturn in Pisces myself. Now with my Saturn return, like these themes are highly highlighted right now to where my faith is being tested. You know, this is like the big test for me, to really just trust the process of what's happening. And it's very hard because with me being an earth sign, you know, I like to have a plan. I like to have control. Saturn is forcing me to let go and let God take over. Okay. And it's been a very hard process for me. It's really about patience. Really testing my patience is another thing that I've been experiencing. Definitely testing my faith and my connection to God and my belief system and things of that nature. How much I believe in myself is another thing, because I have Saturn in my first house. Saturn is definitely putting a lot of pressure on me for that, to really get clear on my path and really see things clearly, getting me all the way together and getting me structured and, you know, making me have like a clear, solid plan and a clear, solid understanding and idea of like where it is that I'm going. And that goes back to having to do that deep reflection. Doing a lot of meditation is something that I recommend for people that are going into their Saturn return. Like, willingly spend that time in solitude and self-reflection to really get clear on what it is that you want and who it is that you want to be. The good thing about your Saturn return is that you gain a lot of clarity on yourself. And I know it sounds weird because it's like, I was just saying like how I feel lost in things and things feel unclear and things, which it definitely does, but you do gain a lot of clarity. Why? Because you're cutting out all the unnecessary stuff and you're getting down to what matters the most in your life. This is a time where you have to stand firm on your decisions. Your decisions are very important during this time. It's very important for you to make very wise decisions. And another thing that's really great about Saturn is that it does push you into action. Saturn will definitely light the fire under your ass to get your ass going. If you try to ignore Saturn's presence, because Saturn will put a lot of pressure on you. Saturn will make you feel like, oh my God, this is unbearable. Like, you know, Saturn will make you feel like your back is up against the wall and you have no choice but to do what it is that not only that you're meant to do, but also what it is that you deeply, deeply desire to do. It's helping you get your life together. It's helping you manifest what it is that you want. You know, this is also a planet of manifestation as well. It's a planet that brings things into reality, especially if you're like a creative like me. You're very imaginative, you're very spiritual. My Saturn and Pisces friends out there who are also experiencing this transit, we're very spiritual, we're very tuned into the divine, we're very creative. We can sometimes get lost in la la land sometimes, and Saturn is helping all of us. Even if you don't have Saturn in Pisces, Saturn is helping all of us bring our dreams into reality, bring our imaginations and, you know, our fantasies into reality, and really manifest it and make it happen. And that starts with taking that practical action, taking responsibility, taking accountability for the trajectory of your life. And you have to really believe in yourself, and this will really test how much you believe in yourself. And this is what it's been doing for me. How much do you believe that you can manifest the life that you want? How much do I believe in myself, and how much do I value myself and feel that I'm worthy enough to have these things? Are questions that have popped up in my mind many times during my Saturn return so far, and it's definitely going to be popping up in your mind as well if you're going through your Saturn return right now as well, or for those of you who are going to go into your Saturn return. Being present and really honoring the present moment. This is a time where not only are you reflecting on your past, but you're also really like ruminating and kind of planning out your future. While we could get caught up in doing that, we kind of miss out on the present moment, the here and now. And it's really important to stay very grounded and present during this time. Seize the moment right now. What can you do right now? Because you can't do anything about your past. You can't change it. What happened, happened. You can't do anything about it. So there isn't any sense in kind of harping over it too much. Use it as valuable information to help you move forward. This is how you create your future, by the things that you do presently right now. To celebrate. I know it's like your Saturn return, but it's like this is a time where you should be celebrating. You have made it through 30 years of your life. You made it through childhood. You made it through your teenage years. You made it through your early mid-20s. Like, that is a lot to celebrate. Think about how many things you went through during these times and how much you've grown, how much you've learned. This is a time to celebrate yourself. This is a time to like celebrate everything that you've accomplished. Even if you did fail at something, it doesn't matter. At least you tried it. Definitely take a time to really appreciate yourself and celebrate yourself, and really reflect on the good things too. Don't only reflect on missed opportunities or things that you failed at and things of that nature. Don't be too hard on yourself during this time. Also reflect on the things that you did do. Reflect on your growth. Most importantly, you've grown so much. It's almost like a graduation. It reminds me of the World card in tarot, where it's like you've completed a cycle and you're going into a whole new one. There's a lot to celebrate, like, honestly. So remember to celebrate yourself. Another tip for you guys is don't feel like your life is over. And this is something that I was struggling with for the past couple of months, kind of feeling like, oh my God, my life is over. I'm getting so old, and it's like, girl, no, you're not. Like, I was literally talking to my friend about this, and she's like, girl, like, chill, like, you're only 29, like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much time for you to do what it is that you want to do, you know, because I was also talking to my friend about kind of like my goals and kind of what it is that I want right now for myself now that I'm at this age. And, you know, she was hyping me up like, you could definitely do it. It's going to happen for you. Like, don't feel like it's too late because you're 30. You know what I'm saying? Because society has this way of putting that pressure, like, you have to have a career, you have to have a family, you have to have this, that by the age of 30, and that may not apply for everybody. Just enjoy where you're at right now. And this kind of goes back into like the celebration energy of like, just celebrate where you're at right now and understand like you have time. Saturn has a funny way with making you feel like you have time, but at the same time you don't have time. Time is ticking, like you need to like make shit happen right now. Savor the moment of where you are right now, but also don't slack off and recognize like there are things that you need to make happen and do. Make good use and manage your time very well, and understand that your time is very precious and you can't waste it. You're gonna make it out. It's gonna pass. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's only a moment in time. It may feel like it's going on forever because Saturn moves so slow, but capitalize off of this time and make it work for you. There's a lot of gold during this time. There is a lot of precious energy in this time to really help elevate you. That is what Saturn is helping you do. It's helping you elevate to your highest potential. is really helping you make that breakthrough to the next level. So definitely don't sleep on this time. That is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and you found this helpful. For those of you who are experiencing your Saturn return right now, leave your experience down below. I want to know what you're learning so far and what you're feeling. And for those of you who haven't reached your Saturn return yet, definitely come back to this video when your Saturn return starts if you need some sort of support, guidance, and advice. Leave your questions and comments down below. And again, if you guys are interested in booking a reading with me, you can find all my services on Etsy.com. My Etsy shop name is Cosmic Star Astrology. Please follow me on Instagram, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.